Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. I know you got to feel the excitement already. I'm excited about today's show, and I think you will be as well. And I tell you, I want to bring the radio portion in first, and then we're going to go off into this show. Sit back, grab your 8-9 bags of popcorn, because we got a show coming your way. Todd, let's do it, man.
It's Your Life is sponsored by James J.C. Cooley.
Life is a series of circles and cycles, phases and stages. These are your experiences that teach you the lessons of life. You can either ignore them or embrace them. Welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life. James is a motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the James Cooley Foundation. James is here to equip you to strive for greatness and to overcome adversity. It's time to get equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, James Cooley.
Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. Wow. Wherever you're watching the show from, was it E36 TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, or over 25 other live streaming networks, welcome to the party, because that's what it's going to be today. And also, if you are listening to it on the radio, you can call in. I mean, you can always call into the radio station. That's 1-866-577 coming your way today. How you doing, Dr. Cooley? How you doing today?
I'm doing great. We definitely were excited about the show today, and we got an amazing panel and their expertise in different areas regarding this topic. It's a very important topic. And this topic has been going on for, I don't know, for a very, very, very long time. So we're really interested in just hearing the thoughts and our expert opinions regarding this.
Well, not just hearing the thoughts, but we got a panel today. Mm-hmm. And this panel is always led by none other than my great friend, Dr. Michael Mantell, and then we got Dr. King here, Dr. James King. We got Liz Hunt. We got Evelyn Wilson. I tell you, it's all of this expertise, this knowledge, this vision, understanding, and focus. What we're going to talk about a topic that's, I believe, is so dear, and that we need to talk about this because, as Dr. King mentioned, in some of the readings that I was reading about him, industry sometimes they place these stigmas and prejudice and a lot of the businesses are losing 50 to 60% of their customer base because it's a mind problem. I think we love people for who they are, not what they or how they look or this or that. Everybody is equal. So I tell you, I'm excited, Michelle, as you see, you already know.
Yes.
And, so, Michelle, can you tell our viewers and our listeners the title of the show and the purpose of today's show?
Yes, the title of today's show is called Weight, Stigma, and the Plus Size Movement. And the purpose of the show is having a discussion with cognitive behavior coach, keynote speaker, author, and advisor, Dr. Michael Mantell, entrepreneur, CEO of The Resort, and the founder of Plus Size Certified, Dr. James King, entrepreneur, #1 best-selling co-author, and certified master life coach, Evelyn Wilson, and United States Air Force veteran, owner of Anytime Fitness in Callaway, and certified exercise physiologist and personal trainer, Liz Hunt. The discussion is going to kind of focus on educating the public about the plus size movement and how certain needs of the plus size community are not being met and what is being done to resolve this. We're going to talk about weight stigmas at the gym and actually other public places as well. And we're going to learn about this amazing resort called The Resort. And so we have our amazing 4 guests today. So, James, where do you want to start?
So this is what I want to do, Michelle. Why don't you read a little bit about each one of the guests and you start with Dr. Mantell, and we'll pop them up, and once we get everybody, we'll let everybody tell a little bit about themselves.
Okay. Dr. Michael Mantell, for nearly 50 years, Dr. Mantell's been helping people of all ages and backgrounds de-stir themselves less and create lasting positive change with his compassion-based, rational, emotive behavior coaching methods. Dr. James King has spent the last 20 years creating and adapting fixtures and fittings to meet the needs of the plus-size community. And he is the creator and the founder of The Resort, a small Caribbean resort like any other, specifically designed to meet the needs of anyone, no matter of their size. Evelyn Wilson, aka Evelyn Flows, is an entrepreneur, best-selling co-author, certified master life coach, mom, and motivational speaker. She operates in the capacity of content creator, graphic designer, web designer, brand strategist, and so much more. And she loves seeing people transformed, whether it be through business, spirituality, or wellness. Liz Hunt is a United States Air Force Security Forces craftsman and celebrates her 15 years of service alongside her transition from combat boots to sneakers as a now anytime fitness gym owner. With over 15 years of experience as a certified exercise physiologist who queries medical background and genetic trends of every one of her patients to create custom exercise prescription from cardiac, rehab, cancer remission therapy, and many more. So I can't do everybody justice because we need a 2-hour show, but let's get started.
Well, I tell you what, I think we lost Dr. Mantell for a quick second. He should be back, but I want to start with Dr. James King. Can you tell our viewers and listeners a little bit more about you and where you're at today? Dr. King.
Well, sort of two careers. One was medicine, and I got out of that. I get into the resort business because I had contacts and we owned a few in our family, and I inherited a couple. So I cheated to get in at the top. I did not work my way up. But this whole journey for me started in Grenada, where I was taking over as managing director of a property there. And my very first day on property, I was standing in the dining room and I saw a young lady who turned out to be on a honeymoon sit on one of the new lounge chairs that were all the rage and literally go right through it and sprawled out in front of everybody. And she was mortified, and yet half the beach was laughing at her. And that's what planted the seed that there has to be a better way so that things like that just don't happen. And that's what started this now 22-year journey of trying to create the fixtures, the fittings, and the ambiance and the safe haven environment so anybody can do anything they want, whether it's underwater, individualized submarines, whether it's a resort, whether it's staying in a hotel. I was saddened not long ago when I found out that 35% of plus size to obese people in America have their mattress on the floor, either because they've broken a bed or because it makes so much noise when they get in or out of it, they can't sleep. So there just had to be a better way. And that's what started my journey.
Wow. Dr. Cooley?
Dr. Cooley, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me, Dr. King?
I said, thanks so much, Dr. King. I really enjoyed that intro. And I can't wait to delve off into that one. Let's go to Liz Hunt. Liz, can you tell our viewers and listeners a little bit about you?
Yeah, sure. Thank you once again for this opportunity from Dr. Mantell to both you, Dr. Cooley's, for allowing me to be in this space and talk a little bit about something that nobody wants to really bring into the light, right? Like these are one of these conversations that you always have in the shadows. So I'm really excited for whoever's listening out here that they might know somebody or they might be that person that can finally figure out what some stepping stones are to move into a direction of just better health. Physicality is what it is, right? If you tell me you want to be a bodybuilder, fine. Let's go ahead and figure out how we're going to develop that physique. But in my space, in our space here, I should say, health is something that we care about a little bit more than anything else. So we believe exercise is medicine. So we try and source different unique aspects in this fitness center so that we can employ that and break down barriers so that we can truly meet our patient population where they're at. So I am a retired Air Force. Don't hold that against me, Dr. Cooley. Okay. I had an amazing career, but I ended up wanting to transition from being in the military police world, the law enforcement world, into more of the exercise world from an injury that I sustained while in the military. So I learned what an exercise physiologist was. I actually had one assigned to me for a whole year to help me rehab from a cadaver knee replacement. So I looked at the exercise physiologist at the end of my therapy and said, like, I don't know what it is or how you did what you did, but I need to do that because I want to spend the rest of my life paying it forward and showing folks that there is a true pathway from injury, whatever that injury is, whether it's, you know, mental or if it's something physical. So exercise physiologists typically, a lot different than what a personal trainer will do is we take a deeper dive into the patient's epidemiology. We want to know exactly like what kind of chronic factors that we might be having to deal with if it is genealogy related or if it's really just characteristics or behavior related. From there, we're able to deduce what kind of fitness and stress tests that we should perform on the patient to make sure that we can qualify what their progression is instead of, you know, whatever their 1 rep max is, you know, like I'd rather volumize them and make sure that they are truly using their cardiac and pulmonary function as they should. So that being said, an ex-phys fits nicely into the primary care world, right? So that we can go and talk to these PCMs about how exercise is medicine and they can give us their patients that are presenting with chronic behaviors or chronic diagnoses that we know can be combated or mitigated through exercise.
Wow. That's, I mean, this panel is exciting. Miss Evelyn Wilson.
How are you?
I'm doing just fine. How you doing today?
I'm doing amazing.
Your internet, I think, taking hits. Can you tell our listeners 1 minute or less, because we got to take a break, a little bit about you?
Absolutely. I am a life coach and brand strategist. I am literally out here living my life as a plus size woman in a world that doesn't quite cater to me. So I'm excited. Actually, well, Liz found me on social media after one of my posts blew up and viral, and it was for me actually working out. And so I know a lot of people may not see that a lot with someone my size. And so I guess, you know, it was just something interesting, and a lot of people were rooting me on and you know, standing behind me. And so that's how I got here today. And I'm super excited to be here.
Wow, we're super excited to have you. But we're going to take a station break. Then we're going to come back with Dr. Mantell. And I tell you, if you want to be part of this conversation, all you do is call 1-866-577-2473. Go to the comments and put your comment in. I promise I'll get it on the screen. It's your life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We'll be back shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
Hi, I'm Todd Perry.
In October of 2014, the J.C. Cooley Foundation continues to strive to expand its programs and offerings to the youth, young adults, and citizens of our great communities nationwide and overseas. We hope that you'll be able to take part in one or more of the many exciting events that we're offering this year and experience firsthand the pride we take in supporting our cause. It's out.
Hello, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and we're celebrating Black History Month in Atlanta. I'm the host of the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, and I tell you what, throughout history, we've had a lot of amazing African Americans that have been doing a lot of great things, and we have to celebrate. We have to take time to celebrate their greatness and all of the great things that we're doing. So I tell you what, regardless of where you're at, regardless of what anybody tells you, always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. I tell you what, tune into the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, on on E360 television and over 25 live streaming networks. Looking forward to seeing you there. Happy Black History Month. Thank you.
Storytelling paints a picture about his arrival in a rural deep south. City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James J.C. Cooley, available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold.
The Answer San Diego, streaming now on TuneIn.com and Odyssey.com.
Life is a series of circles and cycles, phases and stages. These are your experiences that teach you the lessons of life. You can either ignore them or embrace them. Welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James Cooley is a motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation. Dr. Cooley is here to equip you to strive for greatness and overcome adversity. It's time to get equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, Dr. James Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And we were just doing a quick introduction of our fantastic guests. And I tell you want to be part of this conversation, all you do is go to the comments and put in your comment, or you can call in to 1-866-577-2473. We're going to start off with Dr. Mantell. Many of you already know him, but Dr. Mantell, can you tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit about you? And then we diving into this show.
Okay, well, it's always a joy to be here. I feel like this is my home with you and Michelle. And so thanks for having me and this wonderful team on. My interest in obesity began as a child. My father had obesity. He died when he was 55 years old. The day I had just started being the chief psychologist for the San Diego Police Department, opened my private practice office, and couldn't go to work that day because I got a call right before I'm getting in the car to go to work. That first day, he died of obesity. In 1970, at Hahnemann Medical College in Philadelphia, I began writing a thesis on the psychological aspects of obesity. Completed that in 1972. The chairman of my committee had obesity. He couldn't come to my oral defense because he committed suicide. So I've seen the darkest side over the last 50 some plus years of obesity. The obesity, the World Obesity Federation, defines weight stigma or sizeism as the discriminatory acts and ideologies targeted towards individuals because of their weight and size. The fact is that wherever you go, you see this. And it's been something that I have been fighting for a long time. Along with Dr. King, I was one of the co-founders of Plus Size Certified and served as their chief behavioral science officer. And what we see is that people have all kinds of beliefs about folks with obesity. Men and women living with obesity are lazy. They're irresponsible. They lack willpower. They carry extra weight because of the bad choices they've made. Forget the dozen reasons for obesity. A large body size is unattractive. Individuals who have obesity are not very smart. They have poor hygiene. You know, you're sitting on a plane and you see someone who has obesity walking down the aisle. Be honest. You're thinking, oh, dear God, please make sure he or she is not sitting next to me. And sure enough, they say, excuse me, and you're just dying inside because of the negative beliefs we have about obesity. Weight stigma, Dr. Cooley, leads to low self-esteem, negative body image. That leads to stress, anxiety, depression, rejection, poor personal relationships, which is the number one connector to health and longevity, lower pay at work and poorer opportunities for promotion, harmful eating patterns, eating disorders. They avoid exercise. And the fact is, one of the interesting things is that weight stigma that causes stress, actually drives weight gain. And that's because exposure to weight bias triggers stress, which in turn inhibits self-control, leads to binge eating. One study found that a large degree of people were three times as likely to be at risk of heart disease and diabetes due to metabolic syndrome. That includes a cluster of 3 out of 4 health conditions: elevated blood sugar, high blood pressure, high body mass index, and high cholesterol, than those who don't. The fact is that bias against folks with weight is a killer, and we are out to eliminate that. People,
Wow.
we want to eliminate it in healthcare and gyms. The American Psychological Association did a study not too long ago and found that the number one place where weight stigma is found is in exercise facilities and in exercise physiology offices, healthcare offices. So we got a lot to talk about here.
Oh, definitely, most definitely. Dr. Mantell, I want to ask you this question, and I'm going to go to Liz Hunt when you mentioned fitness centers. So, Dr. Mantell, do you, in your opinion, the obesity shaming, you mentioned how it can affect people's lives, their self-esteem. Do you believe that those who are not suffering from that can be totally oblivious to what is going on? And does social media, in your opinion, promote the stigmatization or promote biases against the plus size community?
That's a lot of good questions you just asked. I
Sorry.
just got to remember them all. No, Michelle, you're always fabulous. The fact of the matter is, I don't believe that people that purposefully create this. I think it's inadvertent, and that's the problem. They don't even realize it. But when we bring it to the attention of these large gym chains, when we bring it to the attention of hotels and restaurants and healthcare offices, and you tell them all this, they still resist it. No, we're not like that. Yes, you are. And the pain you're causing is enormous. And the sign you're putting in front of your facility says, folks with obesity are not welcome.
Wow. Liz, tell us about plus size certified. In what ways does plus size certified work inside a gym? And is it available in all gyms in your opinion? Liz, I can't hear you. Liz, I can't hear
I was
you.
being respectful by muting myself, and then I forgot to unmute myself. Okay, let me try and pretend like I know how to be on a video chat. Okay, so plus size certified is something that I found out about by meeting Dr. Mantell and Dr. King, and I was just overwhelmed by this movement and didn't understand why it's not so easily to translate to the norm. So what it means is inside of the fitness center, and this is a program that Dr. Mantell and Dr. King have developed, and it's something that all gyms could subscribe to, not just gyms, restaurants, like anybody that houses the plus size community. So, but what it means for a gym is absolutely back to that stigma. There's a lot of people in the plus size community that won't walk into a gym. They have this misconception that they actually have to be fit before they come into the gym. And I'm going to blame that a lot on my industry. We have managers that we would hire that, super tall, super slim, maybe a bikini competitor, something like that. Something to give the illusion that if you work out here, you're going to look like her. Well, I don't subscribe to that. My husband and I don't subscribe to that. What we want is this to be a church for anyone that needs that type of healing, right? So we use the products that are in play from Dr. King and Dr. Mantell. Dr. Mantell himself has written so much doctrine to give down to our coaches and to our staff so that they intuitively know exactly how they should communicate within the plus size population. There's certain trigger words that if you use those inappropriately, you're going to lose that patient. They're going to walk right out your door, because if you can't be cognizant or respectful of what it is that they're doing right now or where they're at right now, then why would they give you their business? So, I mean, something just as simple as me walking them around this gym is almost 7,000 square foot. So as I take somebody around this facility, if I start noticing that they're started favoring like one side or the other, or they they're just very uncomfortable in the space, then we've strategically placed, by the help of Dr. King and Dr. Mantell, chairs that are K-rated.
We're going to take a station break. Hold that. We'll come back with you. We'll come back with Dr. King as well. If you want to be part of the conversation, 1-866-577-2473. Or you go to the comments and just ask any question you want. It's your life. We'll be back shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome.
I never wanna leave. Yeah, I'm right where I wanna be. We got something you and me, and I can't get rid of this feeling. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can't be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can't be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Hey, I'm so drawn to you.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Sure.
Life is a series of circles and cycles, phases and stages. These are your experiences that teach you the lessons of life. You can either ignore them or embrace them. Welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James Cooley is a motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation. Dr. Cooley is here to equip you to strive for greatness and overcome adversity. It's time to get equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, Dr. James Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, I'm just in go, and I told everybody to grab 5 or 6, 7, 8 bags of popcorn. You probably only got about 3 left, but I tell you, that should hold you over because we got a lot more show coming your way, and these guests are absolutely fantastic. And if you want to be part of the conversation, 1-866-577-2473, or go to the comments and ask any question you like. Now, Liz, no, it was exciting. You didn't do anything. I mean, yeah, but we have to pay the bills, so we had to get it in there. But you were telling a 7,000 square foot gym that you had, and just walking them around. Sometimes that's just bringing benefits like that, and also tailoring programs to meet their needs, and that's we need that. The world need that, So, but I want to start off with Dr. James King. The story that you were telling was so, I'm talking about you kind of visualize in your head about the young lady that was on a honeymoon and how she could have been traumatized by what had happened, So. Can you tell our viewers and our listeners how 50% of the businesses, have these stigmas and they lose business because they don't even understand what they're doing? Can you talk to our viewers and listeners about that a little bit?
Yeah, let me give you 3 short stories that encompass not only the answer to your question, but also the basic premise behind plus size friendly and plus size certified and what we're trying to accomplish. And the first is a Ph.D. student out of Duke was a couple of years ago doing a financial study. And one of his questions from a financial perspective was, what's the number one reason people of size don't go out in their local market, in their local community and spend money? And I pondered that when he first shared it with me and thought about it, and I got the answer wrong, but I'm just going to give it to you very quickly. The answer was very simple. Fear of finding a safe and suitable place to be able to sit. And that's just about criminal in today's society, that people are not going out and enjoying what their local community has to offer because they're scared to death they won't be able to sit anywhere. The second story I want to give you is I was sitting down, I went to high school with this gentleman, and we were in the Virgin Islands, and I was having lunch with the head of one of the major hotel chains worldwide. And I was telling him all about the resort and plus size and accommodating people. And he listened. He was very good. He listened diligently to everything I had to say. And when I was done, he looked at me and he said, Jim, I respect what you're trying to do. But you know, the last thing we want is a whole bunch of fat people all over our properties. And I was taken aback, and then I responded. I said, Dick, I understand that's your thought process. But if you look around us here at your resort, you've already got them. You're just not accommodating them.
Wow.
We didn't talk for about 5 years after that. He was a little irritated, and he still hasn't done anything, to be fair. But he got my message.
Wow.
We were then invited by the CEO of a major cruise line to come and talk to them about plus size acceptance and so on. And we were introduced to one of the very senior people who was responsible for how the ships are decked on this cruise line. And my wife and I spent hours with this gentleman explaining to him what a cruise line could do to better accommodate. What they acknowledge is over the cruise plus size to obese. But we spent all this time with them. And the way it ended was very simple to the board for one reason. And that reason very simply is people don't complain. We don't need the investment. And I can't really argue with him. It makes absolutely with you and something that's quote unquote not a problem. And the problem is those a few extra pounds for ourselves. We shaming and so on that happens. It's the way it's always been. It is the way it always will be. I don't believe that Starbucks puts chairs that people can't sit in, or that a hotel plastic chairs on the beach for a wedding because they're trying to spite big people or plus size people or obese people. They do it out of ignorance. Nobody's ever sat down with them and said, look, 50% of the American population is plus size to obese, and you want them coming in your door. In order to get them to walk in your door, they have to lose at least one thing right up front, and that's fear of finding a safe and suitable place to be able to sit. Now, what plus size friendly and plus size certified can do is very simple. I have 20 years experience creating fixtures, fittings, and an environment that is conducive to anybody, no matter their size. They can be a skinny mini or they can be obese. We have 20 years experience, more than anybody else that I'm aware of. We have people like Dr. Mantell who can work with the staff and work with the environment. So that it's a well-rounded approach. And I would just dare you to find any business, if they didn't advertise and meet the needs of the plus size, would not grow by 20-25%. Because you've got all these people looking for a place to go, scared to death where they're going to sit. And if you just bring it down to such a basic level, plus size certified, plus size friendly, is really all about the corporations. They're not doing it maliciously. We're not attacking them. What we're saying is Old Navy recently decided to become quote unquote plus size friendly. And I think they went up to size 20, 25, whatever it was. And the new CEO, who was a woman, and she had all these ideas, and they put ads on TV showing bigger bodied women, and it's failed. It's failed miserably, sadly, for a whole bunch of reasons, but they don't have the experience. You go to Old Navy and you're plus size, your first problem is when you go into the dressing room, you don't fit. The second thing is there's nowhere to sit.
Yeah.
How are you going to attract the plus size market? You may get them in once. You advertise on TV. We have plus sizes now, but once is all you're going to get. And that CEO, sadly, as of about a month ago, or a month and a half ago, lost her job. Old Navy is in the consequences.
Dr. King, hold that thought. We're gonna touch base with Miss Evelyn right now, and just want to give her time. So, Evelyn,
Yeah, absolutely.
the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and Evelyn, we know that you are a motivational speaker, certified life coach. This topic, weight stigma, biases, plus size community. Can you give or provide your thoughts or input or experiences that either you've been personally involved in yourself, or your thoughts on this?
Absolutely. I've been plus size my whole life, and just to come in and say something about what we were speaking about earlier, a lot of these instances where businesses try to be inclusive with plus sizes, the reason why it goes haywire is because they don't tap into the community and actually ask us what we want or what we need. And I think that's a major key that's missing. So for me, I've had many experiences that you all may have discussed beforehand. I mean, I've been the person who has, and I'm not afraid to say this, I've been the person who have broken a chair before. I've been the person who has felt uncomfortable in a space before. I've been that person, but I'm also that person who is not afraid to speak up and say, hey, this is not accommodating me well. Can we do something differently? And I think that's one thing that's missing as well. A lot of plus size people don't feel comfortable speaking up and kind of feel like this has been the status quo for so long that, it just is what it is. But I am so excited that today that's not.
Wow. So hold up. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
This question is for Dr. Mantell and for you guys as well. In your opinion, what ways does society media promote stigmatization of or promote biases against plus size people? Dr. Mantell.
I walked into a gym a while ago. I went to the person at the front desk and I said, I don't belong here. The person said, what do you mean, sir? I said, well, look around the pictures. You have all these young people with beards and big body, muscles. And, it doesn't look like me at all. I don't feel like I'm welcome. And she said, oh, you know what? I never realized that before. Look at the media. The media slowly, I begin to see pictures of real people who have weight concerns and carry unhealthy amounts of weight and live with obesity. I think that more and more we're seeing a slight turn, but nothing compared to what's needed. As we were saying, I don't think this is purposeful. I think this is unintentional and ignorance, as is much of the isms. This is a discriminatory practice. But once you tell someone about it and you share the data and you show them and you help them understand how it must feel, we want to help people look beyond the outside to that which lies within. We want to help people look not at what someone was, but what they can become, what they'll be. And whether it's furnishings, language, graphic images, it's time for change.
Wow. So
I just want
Liz, what are your thoughts on that?
I think that we need to get past like the exterior, right? Once again, physicality only counts if you want to be a bodybuilder and you want to be on stage and you want to be judged thusly. It shouldn't happen in the normative society, right? We should care about our health. Why is it that like the CDC just produced facts that say 1 out of every 3 Americans have diabetes, type 2 diabetes to be more specific? Why don't we care more about that than having pictures up of like some female or male with shredded 6-pack abs or 8-pack, whatever it is? Why don't we care about the fact that everybody is on metformin? Everybody's on some sort of statin for their cholesterol or their blood pressure. I mean, why don't we care about employing the right factors into not so much caring about combating obesity, just getting people to better health?
Wow. So we got a question from Dr. Mantell. I mean, not Dr. Mantell, but Dr. Eric Hall. I thought I saw him on here a second ago. Hold on. There you go, Doc.
Good
Doc,
question.
you got a question. What are your questions, Doc? I think you're on mute.
Well, he's asking us, how can we change the narrative to this social ill in society, right, Dr. Hall? My good friend, there it is.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Good to see you, man.
Same here, same here. Yes, that is the question for the group. I think it's been an awesome discussion, and I just want to know how can we change the narrative, to this social ill in society, because that's when we begin to heal, and I think that I'll let the panel go ahead and just kind of discuss what ways forward. Let's Miss Liz go forward.
Oh, Dr. King. Doctor.
Yeah, go ahead, Dr. King.
I don't think he could.
Liz, you had your hand up. Go for it.
I did have my hand up. Yeah, just really quickly. I think that the biggest issue that we as a nation have is that nobody's teaching us how to eat. We are programmed, indoctrined all the way like back into elementary school that the minute somebody hands me a plate of food, that's what I'm supposed to consume. And when we go to a restaurant, it's the same thing. They hand me a plate of food. I'm supposed to just eat all of it. Why don't we have any educational systems in play to teach people how to eat? Why are we waiting for them to already have type 2 diabetes and be enrolled in all of these different CDC driven or WHO programs, lifestyle change programs, instead of teaching these kids when they're kids? Why don't we do that?
Wow.
Part of the problem, though, I'll tell you, is racial. And you look at communities, impoverished communities.
Oh yeah, I'm in the South. It's fried chicken, watermelon, and sweet tea. I mean, like that's what I could literally go to 7 restaurants right down the street from me and order all of that all day long.
And that's an issue. So we can sort of talk about teaching people all day long. We have tried to teach people to use person first language, not the obese person, but the person with obesity. Doesn't seem like a big deal to us, right? But to someone who has that disease, it's a disease. They don't want to be known as the obese person, but a person.
Let's hold that thought because we got to take a station break. I don't want to get beat up. Yeah, so we're going to take a station break. We're going to come back and Dr. Mantell, we're going to pick it up from there. It's Your Life, 1-866-577-2473, or go to the comments. We'll see you shortly after the break.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, this is such a great panel, and the discussions that we are talking about need about 2 hours. So we got to do this again here, where we need to be. I'm talking about in answering all these questions, and the public need to understand that we got a panel. We got people like we got on this panel right here that cares, that truly cares. So we're gonna have to do this again. But I want to pick it back up real quickly with Dr. Mantell to finish up that one, because you was on the road and you were hitting some major key points. And can you take it over again, Doc?
Sure. Well, as Dr. Hall was asking about how can we change the narrative to the social ill in society, just real quickly, understand that isms like sizeism, weight stigma affects employment, healthcare, education, travel, the media, fitness. What ism doesn't? This is not different. This is also discrimination. This is also ideologic. And so I think that we need to cut into this by raising our voices loudly, continuing to offer the programs that we're teaching. And even though we're getting pushback, lots of good things get pushback. That even those who stop us don't stop us. And I'll let Dr. King pick up on that one.
Okay, Dr. King, you wanted to add on to what Dr. Mantell was just saying? Dr. King?
Well, I think he's 100% right. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
We can hear
No,
you.
I think Dr. Mantell's 100% right. But I think we need to add to that. We need to create an environment where the plus size feel comfortable. Acceptance, as we all know, white, black, green, purple, orange, is going to take a long time. But we need to create the environment where people are comfortable, where they can come in, and they may not be 100% welcomed, but over time they will be. But if you don't get them to come in the door, we're never going to move forward. And both sides of this narrative, and you know, the media loves to make, well, let me put it this way with the media, because my personal experience with how the media covered my resort was amazing, totally unexpected. But the normal media in Australia the other day on the national news, and I put it on my Facebook page because it just cracked me up, is obesity contagious?
Oh, wow.
It was on the national news.
Really?
Now, if the media is asking that in a public forum at the 6 o'clock news, we've got a lot further to go than any of us ever thought we had to go. You know, if I hadn't seen it, I wouldn't have believed it. Is obesity contagious?
Wow.
That's
so I think we have to start. We have to start by creating an atmosphere and an environment where we make everyone feel welcome, no matter who they are or what they are. At the resort, and what I do is not scale things. Focus on as healthy as you can be today. Focus on health. The rest help people.
Hey, Doctor, you kind of breaking up.
Yeah.
Doctor, you breaking up after every word. So we can't hear you.
So we're gonna, Dr. King, you're breaking up. So we're gonna defer.
Going to the doctor's office. Everybody.
Dr. King, okay, you're breaking up now. So we're going to actually speak with Evelyn right now. Evelyn, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear. And
Great. And
I heard a little bit of what everybody was saying.
okay.
Yeah. One thing that I think is super important to understand is that, I heard earlier someone talking about the fact that plus size people don't want to be referred to as a plus size person. They are a person first, right? And so that is key, because even though I am on a weight loss journey, every plus size person is not on a weight loss journey. And I'm not saying that there aren't, leaps and bounds to be made when it comes to health, but the very first thing that we have to connect with as people is understanding that we are people, we love ourselves, we are loved. And so that's when you can begin the journey to make changes. If we notice what has been going on in society as a whole, the way that, plus size people are dealt with, it hasn't led to, a mass amount of people losing weight. It hasn't. It's had the total opposite effect. And so at the end of the day, if you are concerned with someone's health, if you are concerned with their quality of life, approach them as a person first, and then try to add those other things into their lives. So like Dr. King was saying, make sure that, as plus size individuals, we can be comfortable in spaces like gyms, like restaurants, like hotels, like the different spaces that we, need to be a part of every day. And I also believe that corporations can benefit from this tremendously, because at the end of the day, my dollar is green, just as green as someone else's dollar. And there's a lot of green dollars that are not being spent right now because plus size people are not feeling comfortable in those spaces. And so I believe that's what's needed. See me as a human first, and then let's go from there.
I just want to point something out real quickly. Forgive me, folks. So Evelyn, who is a queen spokesperson for this, Evelyn, you it's amazing. You just pointed something out. We've been saying that it's inadvertent. It's not purposeful. And Evelyn, you agree that that we want to put the person first, people first.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my dear, sweet Evelyn, who I adore. Do you know that you said plus size people?
I did.
Yes.
I did.
We all do that. So no matter how much training and education and talking and decades, we inadvertently make that error.
Yeah.
And so we're not blaming people who do that. We want to help people. And we do that in a kind, loving, respectful, caring way.
Exactly.
I hope I just did.
You're right. No, you're right. You're so right. Yeah. It's because it's been so much a part of our culture that it just comes out.
Right.
Yeah, if I could tell one quick little story, I had a trainer that was about to work with me, and he actually had to correct me in saying, I am not a fat person, but I'm a person who has fat, And so that's a mindset, and it's been ingrained in us. And so, yeah.
I want to make a comment on something you said, Evelyn. And someone else said that as well. If someone sees like a person who's, I'll just say plus size. I know we don't want labels, but they just assume that, or may want to give advice unsolicited about their eating habits, right? However, there are a lot of people who are not plus size, who is thin as a rail, who have the most atrocious eating habits, but no one says anything to them because of their view of like, oh, they're thin or they're skinny and they're healthy. Just because you're thin or just because you're not thin doesn't mean one is healthier than the other. I just wanted to point that out.
Absolutely.
Wow. We down to the last minute of the show. And hey, Dr. Mantell, we got to do this again because it's gonna take a couple of shows, or maybe 3, to really get this point across to our viewers and our listeners. So if everybody game by doing it again, we can do it again in about 3 or 4 weeks. I tell you, this is absolutely fantastic. I want to thank each and every last one of you for taking the time to come on the James Cooley Show. It's your life.
I'm James.
I'd like to thank my executive producer and co-host, Michelle Cooley, Dr. Michelle Cooley, for putting together another great show. She is wonderful. She's been hitting a lot of home runs lately. And most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning in to the James Cooley Show It's your life. And I tell you, my saying, and I want everybody to always think and dream this: dream big, think big. Most important, be big in mind, body, and soul at everything that you do. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. It's your life.